Welcome to Elin. If I were to describe this game, this is the Souls-like of Stardew Valley. You can farm, you can bond with NPCs by watching birds together. How wholesome. And die. And die so many times for BS reasons. This video will be the first 100 days of my 1000 day journeys as Tanael, the best loser whose father is a cornered sinner and mother is a dying saint. There's some irony there. And we are of the hillfolk race and the class of a farmer, having traits like meat blood, which empowers us by drinking alcohol, and farming legs, reducing our stamina usage. Now to begin, there's a story somewhere and I skipped it. I would like to imagine I got blackout drunk, two mysterious personnel kidnapped me into the middle of nowhere and forced me to develop a town. That is my headcanon, cause they gave me a land deed and after claiming it, a hearthstone is created. Here's the thing, creating a settlement by myself is a lonely task. Luckily though, Viema is here to help. I'm giving you one of my precious companions as a gift. What kind of animals do you like? Okay, so we have a dog, a cat, bear, and a little girl. Oh, I see. And of course, I chose the little girl cause like, how are dogs or cats gonna help me with developing a town? After getting the little girl as a pet, the uncle Ashlyn gave me some quests, like teaching me about communism, giving me a chest and make me share the content with everyone. Then about crafting, tasking me to make a torch, so I chopped down some wood, made a workbench and crafted a torch. And after completing these quests, seemingly small quests, right? What do you think he'd ask next? Maybe something small like make a bed or craft some tools. But no, just build a house. I don't know, maybe it's just my humor, but I feel like there's like a bit of a leap in construction skills, y'all. Like let's build something small like a torch and yeah, just build a house. But I say I'm a little radio rebel myself. Because after chopping down trees, gathering materials for my torch, I was a bit tired and when the stamina bar goes down to the negative, I start taking damage, which you might expect is bad. So I ignored the heat of Ashlyn of building a house, I know the audacity, and made a makeshift bed and went to sleep. Waking up, turns out the house is actually not that hard to make. We just need grass, leaves, and wood. So, and with that we got 25 walls and made a 5x5 house. It's not great, but it's honest work. And to make it better, Ashlyn provided us these house and room plates, which allows me to alter the appearance of the house. I decided a straw rooftop vibe to really emphasize on how grounded I am as a farmer. After establishing my place in this world, Ashlyn taught me about combat because, as I said, this is the Souls-like of farming sims. So the first enemy I have to fight is an unreleased PoE class, beautifully hung up on the gallows. He probably got caught stealing some Pokemon cards or something because after killing him, it dropped me a card of the punk, which can act as a hologram, raising tourism values, whatever that means, or add the cards into the card codex, creating like a bestiary of sorts, which I think is pretty cool. Next, I also stoned the board to death, which really hammers in that medieval vibe. You know, I feel like I'm really on a roll here. Crafting, building, stoning things to death, and then the game hits me with this. Tax. Excuse me, I thought I was playing a game here. Let's just hope that it's not like a 35% income tax like Australia. So we have to earn money fast. I don't know how much I need to pay, but we have 7 orange to our name, and we are already halfway through the month. To assist me on this, Ashlyn introduced me to Lloydel, a frontier inspector who will teach me how to earn money. And the basic gist is we put items in the shipping chest and every day they get shipped out and we earn a bit of money. Luckily, they don't have tariffs or else I do not know what to do. I accepted a few more quests asking me to find a lost puppy and exploring Nymel, which all of them are dungeon diving related quests. Seeing I'm a bit naked in both physical sense and item sense, I felt I'm a little underprepared. Thus, I decided to focus on base building for now. Maybe try to get some farming going to pay off my taxes. So I began for all the different crafting stations, collecting the materials and made a sawmill, stonecutter, carpenter's table and a tinker's table. And I could have crafted the mason's table if it weren't for this. Crafters. Mason's table. Yes, yes, yes. We have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, do we die? Yes. Yes, past me. You did. Resulting in my first of many deaths in this game. Oh, okay, he died. you, oh dear Taneo, how could you die so easily? How did you manage it? But don't worry. Okay, however, for the first 90 days after you arrive in the land, you won't suffer any. Okay. This is also when I discovered that the first 90 days of the game, I won't receive any death penalties, which is fantastic, but it also implies after 90 days, I will start receiving death penalties, which means in these 90 days, we have to find all the possible ways to abuse this safeguard. Before such abuse takes place, however, I finished building the stone mason, which allows me to craft better armor and equipment, and a draft table for more advanced crafting stations. While walking around deciding on what to do next, I suddenly leveled up, granting me a feat point, which allows me to get a new trait. Since I'm still kinda new to the game, I don't have a clear direction on what are good or bad, but thinking of my character being a hill folk and a farmer, it screams melee, strength, tank-based character. So I chose the safe but admittedly boring trait by adding 2 endurance, which I think it makes me tankier. I then tinker around the different abilities in my ability bar and notice this ride option. We can ride. What is riding? What is riding? Can I ride the little girl? I can. Okay. 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 That does not sound good. That does not sound good. Okay. Anyways. So I want to keep on riding the little girl. It just feels wrong, but it's okay. I think, because like everything is like, you want to level them up, right? You want to level stuff up. So like if I keep on riding right now, it will level it up so I can ride a better thing in the future. Hey, then I got this home board from Viyama, which allows me to check the status of my settlement and how much I need to pay for tax next month. It's 500 orins and I'm pretty sure it's okay since we already have 200 in the bank. At this point, I feel like there's not much for me to do anymore in this little settlement of ours, so I decided my immediate goal is to get better armor and tools to aim for dungeons and grow my settlements further. But to do that, I need stone and lots of it, which means it's time to mine. Riding my trusty little girl, I went to the overworld, which I can click and access different tiles. I would say the wild is pretty interesting in Elin. The first tile I entered, I got ambushed by this little rascal here, and after killing it, it dropped me a gene of gnome. Or some might say, a genome. Get it? Yeah, a little biology joke for you guys. But also, I saw this. What the fuck is this? Fanatic of Kizuami of Trickery. A follower of ooh, just passing by, don't mind me, I'm just passing by. However, if we look past that, we see this. This is the diorite stone, and I see this number here, hardness 46. Looking at the granite stone, it's 18. And using my 25 years of gaming experience, I have concluded that hardness matters. They probably allow me to harvest better stuff and more efficiently. I don't know, Minecraft logic. And then this happened. Collect the rocks, because I need a lot. Oh, oi. Oh, wait, what the fuck? Why am I shooting ice? Oh, because of ice arrow. Hey. Oh, already using death safeguard efficiently. Deciding dying randomly from overworld mobs would not be an efficient way to use the 90 days, I went back for a bit of a revenge, got a bone and crafted a breastplate, giving me a +7 PV, which I think is damage reduction. Next few days, not much happened. I got chased by a shiny gnome, I got chased by some beaks, and I guess I mined a few rocks and discovered this basalt stone, which I believe is the hardest stone I can get in early game. And to end this short journey, I got shot at the back of the head by a clown. Ah, indeed. past Linky, but I guess that's fine. It would have taken me longer to walk back anyways. So after a bit of a nap, I crafted a pickaxe, shovel, hoe, sickle, and a hammer, completing the quest from Lloydal I forgot accepting and granting me some seeds for farming. Finally, I am a farmer. Here's the problem though. Plants take up fertility of a land, which I have 93 of. 5 tomato seeds and 5 mushroom seeds take up a total of 25, which might be manageable for now, but in the future, if I want to grow as a farmer, I would need to increase that fertility value somehow. But that's something for future Linky to worry about. With all the stuff built, I feel like I have the foundation to go and rescue Fiamma's puppy now. Before that though, she asked me what my goal is in life. What do I want to do in this 1000 days playthrough? And I chose the first option. What the first option is, I have no idea, but which, in hindsight, I should have read because each option gives me a different item. And she gave me this ring, granting me a bonus of 10 PV, which I would be grateful for if there was not this purple dot telling me it's a doomed ring. I don't even know what that means while editing this video, so I guess it's a useless gift until I find out what it does. I tried going to this place called the Tinker's Camp to maybe uncurse it, but I am way too poor. Finally, we entered a puppy cave. This is also when I encountered the first god shrine, which is the shrine for the god of luck, a Hectel. If you remember, right next to our base, there are fanatics killing a follower of a Hectel. I do not know if following this god would cause anything bad to happen to me, but I am too afraid to discover, so I ignored it. Exploring the dungeon, I basically picked up everything I could. A wooden sword that has 2 D5 rolls, which is a huge upgrade compared to my bare hands. Going down to the second floor, I found Poppy the puppy relatively quickly, but decided to clear the whole map before rescuing it. It was basically useless, there was nothing. So I quickly talked to Poppy, it joined our team, and we used the recall scroll, teleporting back to base. Turning in the quest, I got this wonderful cooler box which allows me to store food just a bit longer. I also dumped basically everything I found from the dungeon to the shipping box, including this superior gene which I assume is rare, but it's gone now because I kinda need that money. The tax day is getting kinda close. And maybe some people in my settlement need that money more than me. Dear Lloydal, regrettably your passionately collected file, especially the Venom, has been appraised as fake. Oh no. 20 million orns in the debt. 20 million orns. Okay, okay. I see nothing. Good luck, buddy. Lloydal, you're dead to me. I don't know how he got to that point. I have skipped all the dialogues, but if the quest is actually implemented, I think it is a nice long-term goal to have for my 1000 days playthrough. Now that I got my tax covered for the next month, I took it chill for a bit. Clear out the dirt walls, which got me to mining level 5, and built a kiln which allows me to bake clay into bricks, another key component for crafting higher level crafting stations. In order to do that, we need clay, which is made from mixing any sort of liquid with dirt, including potions. Which means it's dungeon diving once again. So this time I thought that we can go to Nymel. We can complete Ashland's quest while getting potions for clay. Also, here's a confession, okay? This is not my first character. Scandalous, I know. It's actually my second. I'm sorry. My first save was around 150 days to ensure I would actually have fun to commit 1000 days to it. So I already know that there is a key NPC in the second floor of Nymel. She is a really good healer and sells a very important crafting recipe. But seeing how I die so many times already, you guys probably thought it is actually the first playthrough. And the deaths will keep on coming because what I'm about to do is something I can never do in a permadeath run. It's time to abuse the death safeguard. I shall be bum rushing to the second floor of Nymel to get the NPC. No, so I was saying. Oh, there you are. Nice. Someone here? Yeah, I'm Paris. Okay, thank you. It's only 4 deaths, but this whole thing took me 6 in-game days because the moment I returned home, it's already June 2nd and immediately got stabbed with a $500 tax fee. I love capitalism. So quickly, using my feat points, I got the party animal trait, which increases my party size by 1, allowing me to have both the little girl and Ferris in my team without penalties. Now that I got her though, there's a new priority which I learned from my first playthrough, which is to get the skill symbiosis from the trainer in Tinker's camp. I know it sounds like some alien parasite stuff, but actually what it really is to allow someone to ride on top of me. So currently I am riding the little girl and Ferris is riding on top of me. It's like a human centipede of sorts. But this skill, like to be fair, is actually really good because it protects Ferris from getting hit as the one on the top has a lower chance of being targeted. Obviously though, bum rushing to get Ferris also means not getting potions for the clay, which was the original purpose of going to Nightmare. But let's be honest, Nightmare kinda hard. Me, kinda weak. So I decided to go to the Terrifying Machinarium because they have these blue puddles. And every time you collect these blue puddles, it's a pot of dirty water. That's 1 clay, baby. So I did that for a bit until I found this altar, which houses the god of harvest, Kumiromi, or Kumi, because we are close like that. And for us, Kumi is the perfect god, because it provides an ever-growing buff for farming, which allows me to get higher tiered crops, selling them for more money as well as better attributes EXP to level myself up. This buff scales with faith and piety level, and to level those up we can do 2 main things. One is to pray every day, or we can offer specific items for the gods. For Kumi, it's seed and vegetables. The thing is though, you have to offer it to the altar. Since they are randomly generated, you won't be able to find them consistently. After hearing that, you might think, hey, just carry one home. And yes, that is exactly what I'm going to do. Let's pick it up. And oh, I cannot move because the altar is too heavy. But don't worry guys, this is what the 90 days are for. You see, you can't move while carrying it, but you can throw it, and for a small price of a death, you can move them across levels in the dungeon and tiles on the overworld. So you already know, from June 5th to 11th, a total of 7 days, I died and revived a couple of times and finally got the altar back home. Worshipping Kumi has its immediate effects because the mushroom that I planted ages ago, which was stuck on base level, finally improved, with the best seed being +2 with endurance potential. I also decided to remove the tomatoes since they are taking a bit too much of a fertility. I also took model follower for my next trait, which automatically prays for me every day in case I forget, passively leveling my faith up. We are now a third way through June, and finally it's time to file some tax. It took me 3 days to travel to Mycelia, quickly paid off my debt and did some exploring. There's a quest board which we can accept different missions and earn some rewards. A katana, bottle of wine and other stuff. Those are not things that I have on me right now. Continuing exploring, I see a blacksmith, and guess what? You know that saying? Evil is not born. Evil is taught. I think that's the quote. Well, my second greatest teacher in this game, Fiyama, taught me about many things, like lockpicking and gifting unusable equipments to others. So now I shall pass it down to Dia Rice, completing the mission. But this also reminded me about the ring. It kind of annoyed me, and I thought using the Rod of Curse from the church would help, but it's just 300 orens down the drain. I also saw these beehives at the corner of the city, and accidentally fat-fingered and started hitting the bees, which led me to getting ganged up on. The positive side is that I got a queen bee, which is a rare crafting material that I was not able to get in my trial playthrough. Then I drank some water from the well, which increased my potential in charisma. This is when I searched up the wiki and looked at what happened. These are mutations. There are positives and negatives. It's basically 50-50, so... so it saves scumming time. And after a bit of scumming, here are my mutations. +3 defense, lightning resistance plus, cold resistance plus, 4 memorization, 15 speed, 4 region and 10 perception. But wait, there's more, because when I went to another settlement called Olvina, which by the way is my favorite town by far, it's a Japanese style town with a hot spring, absolutely love it. And drank from their well too. They also have the fortune drum gacha, and one item really interested me, which was the bag. Using my 24 old tickets, I got it, giving me an extra 35 inventory slots. And the gifts just keeps on giving. That's good, that's good. There's a bee. 2 queen bees. Okay. Honestly, I was a bit shocked on how lucky I was. That also means that I need to get those beehives running as soon as possible. So quickly, I bought the beehive recipe from Nino in Tinkerstown, smelled some bricks and made 2 beehives. They generate honeycomb passively, scaling by the number of flowers in the settlement, and can be sold for a decent price. But before getting flowers for the beehive, there is actually a way to increase the value of the honeycomb before selling. This is also the main reason I wanted to get fairies as soon as possible. This. Yes. The brewery barrel recipe. It all circles back to alcoholism. To make them is a bit cumbersome though, because you need tightrope crafted from big leaves found on the beach. Thus, it's now the obligated beach arc of the series. With my peak swimsuit of a piece of leaf, we went to the beach, killed some crabs, chopped down some palulu trees for the big leaves, and saw pillars surrounding an altar in the overworld. And that's when I thought, what if I sold them? They do look expensive. Hopefully they are expensive, so carrying 2 pillars, we went home, crafted a compost bin for the fertilizer required by the brewery barrel recipe, and slept. Waking up, the shipment earnings came in, and thank God. Like quite literally. Those pillars are worth around 130 each. That means 5 pillars and I'm done with next month's tax. I won't be going out my way to search for them, but it's worth keeping an eye out for, I think. At least in the early game. While waiting for our fertilizer, it's now flower time for a beehive. I looked up on the wiki and it showed me this graph for the optimal number of flowers to beehive ratio, or at least that's what I assume, and proceeded to plant them. The fertilizer is finally finished, so we can now make some barrels. I don't really know how many I need, but I'll just make 4. It's better to have more than less in this situation. And let's just dump them in the corner right here. Now, if I just put the honeycomb and mushroom into the barrels in 1 to 2 business days, I shall have some alcohol. I also got the short distance runner and arm wrestler tray for more stamina and strength. My thought process is that this can help me with more day-to-day actions, which equals to more skill experience in the long run. It's now July 3rd, which marks the 52nd day of our journey, and we have finally sold our first alcohol, netting us almost 500 orens from them alone. It's a bit far off the 20 millions we have to pay, but as we expand our land, increasing our land fertility, this number will surely increase over time. Also, since it's a new month, you already know we have to pay our tax of 510 orens in Mycelia. Now, people who played this game, or hopefully is still watching the video, may have noticed a round trip between my base and Mycelia is 6 days. That's almost a quarter of a month, and assume nothing changes for a 1,000-day playthrough. That's 200 days of traveling back and forth just to pay tax. That frankly is just a waste of time. But what if I tell you you can avoid all of that? And with that, we had to do some quests. I harvested some crops and gave away a loaf of bread, and earned these influence points which I can use to buy Mycelia furniture tickets. Right-clicking these tickets and right-clicking the furniture, they allow me to buy, or I guess redeem, any furniture in Mycelia for the right amount. And for the tax chest, it's 3 tickets. And with this, I can pay my tax at my own home without the hassle of traveling. Yay. So at this point, I am in a bit of a conundrum. Should I try to be as efficient as possible? Or should I take it slow, become the isekai slow life protagonist I always wanted to be? And I decided on the latter because we are doing this for the long run. There will hopefully be 1,000 days of this. We, as humans, always get caught up in life, especially in the 20s and 30s, worrying about our career and our future. But you know what? It's okay to take it slow sometimes. It's okay to enjoy the moment. So I decided to build a brewery. Let me preface this, okay? I suck at interior and exterior design. But if I don't try, if I don't practice, how will I get better, right? So first, I made this rosewood round table, which some might think I got the whole process backwards, that I should have made the exterior first. And they are right. Realizing my mistake, I went to collect materials to craft the floor and wall workshop where the recipe could be bought from Lloydel. While collecting the materials, I also saw this. What the f is that? Big Daddy. Should we attack it? No, it's neutral. It's neutral. We shouldn't. And done. With these crafting stations, it unlocked a whole new array of wall and floor designs. Grill. However, then something happened that made me shift my priorities a bit. Oh, Queen Bee! Thank you. Thank you. You already know what time it is. It's time for another beehive. Seeing the third queen bee, I decided to quickly make a new hive, but a new problem rises. The fertility count finally caught up to me as I need 33 flowers to make the hive as efficient as possible. So searching up the wiki, I found that by hiring farmers and providing them proper bedding, I can actually increase the fertility of the land. So that's what I did. Turns out I also need a farm signpost, which I did not know until a few days later, and went back to collecting materials for my brewery. For the brewery, of course we are going for the medieval rustic vibe. I decided on using oak wood for the walls because it's just the easiest wood to find and placed them down. I also lightly decorated it with the figurines I found from killing monsters throughout my travels. Then I tried doing some filtering for my barrels so that the farmer can auto dump the harvested mushrooms into them. But I don't think it works. Even after 100 days, the farmer never added any mushrooms into them. So I don't really know how to automate the process. And then last, with the houseboard, editing the roof, the basic skeleton of the brewery is done. As for the interior, I took a few extra days to collect cherry blossom wood for the flooring and rolled a bit of a gacha in Ovina, getting a boss chair for a settlement, which I appropriately placed in the brewery and making the petite the proud owner of the establishment. So it makes sense. The next thing to do is to expand our farm so that we can produce more mushrooms and honeycomb to sponsor our brewery. However, even with the farmer, my fertility is only at a maximum of 108. I can hire more farmers, but it's a bit of RNG on the recruitment page. And actually, there's a way to increase the fertility without hiring more farmers, which is by reading the soil policy book, which can be bought with gold bars from scholars in any settlements. After reading it once, I can use gold bars again to level the soil policy and get an increment of 5 fertility per level up. The thing is though, after purchasing all the recipes and the policy, I'm only left with 16 gold bars. I can just slowly sell items to earn gold bars, but I can also just dig, as in there are actually gold bars inside the walls of the dungeon. It is an uncommon drop, but earning gold bars while leveling up mining at the same time is a pretty good deal. Also, you know all the dirt you get from digging? I found out by upcycling them into soil floors, they sell for 4 orens each. You get money, gold bars, and experience? That's the perfect trinity. It's now the start of a new month, and the past few days I've just been mining, getting the skill to level 15, 21 gold bars, and with an account balance of 12k. But you already know, it's tax day, but something amazing happened. 526? Oh, salary. Why do I have a salary? Okay. Open. What? I got 2,200 salary? Is this monthly? I received a salary of 2.2k orens. I don't know exactly how I got them, but hey, it's free money. Which means now I actually net gain 1,700 orens per month after tax. Hooray for capitalism. However, I yearned for the mines and went back to farm a bit more, got killed by a kobold, and came back with a total of 56 gold bars. With them, I power leveled my soil policy to level 9, giving me 138 fertility and expanded my mushroom farm. And you guessed it, it's back to mining once again. To spice it up, I decided to not mine in the puppy cave, but in a new dungeon. I can clear the dungeon and then clear out the soil. At least, that was my thought process. But I should not have thought, because the deeper you go in a dungeon, the more difficult the enemies are, even if they are also level 2 dungeons. On the 3rd floor of the ancient cave... Okay... Why are there so many powerful beings? Why are they so strong? Why can't I just fight the... Oh my god! I hate the fucking... The kamikaze... What the... calm down. They really should rename themselves to the kamikaze cave. Honestly, the suicide bombing enemies are really frustrating to face against. Finally though, after numerous deaths caused by those yeeks, we reached the bottom floor. And what do we have to fight? This. You tell me I fought mummies, zombies, Leonardo, and the dungeon boss is just a gnome. You know what? That's okay. A bit anticlimactic, but it's an easy dungeon conquer, which I guess in the end is worth it. Not really the content of the chest, but this shining gold statue of a Hactal, which granted me the fragrance of goddess. What is it, you may ask? I do not know yet. I shall know that in the next 100 days, but it's a key item, so it's probably good. After the dungeon dive, I did some farming, got it to level 20. My mushroom seeds are also now plus 20, which gets me quality level 2 mushrooms, which if I'm not mistaken, improves the alcohol price as well. While traveling to the Tinker's camp to get the 2 equipments appraised, oh my. Adventure protection is gone. Fuck. I can't abuse anything anymore. That also means it's the last 10 days of this video. I finally actually looked around the camp and see this tent, which I'm pretty sure is like a pocket dimension. Nino does sell it, but it's quite expensive. It's what, like 56 gold bars? However, if the pocket dimension allows me to do farming while traveling around, that would be a game changer. I'm aware that's probably not something I can get in 10 days, but that is definitely the first goal for the next video. But something I can do in the last few days is to catch up with the Lordo questline, because I got a new quest called Wandering Alchemist, which got me 2 new mysterious residents. A blind alchemist called Kettle and his assistant Kurizia. First of all, I really like their designs, and when he says he's an alchemist, you already know it's time to build an apothecary. I really want to do this before the 100-day ends, at least the exterior, so it's a bit of a race against time. But I still don't want to half-ass it, so it did take a day for me to collect the stones for the walls. As for the design, when I think of apothecaries, it's scientific. A bit high-end but rustic at the same time. So I went for a blue-grayish color roof and highlights, which if you don't know, blue is actually a rare color dye to find naturally, to give that expensive vibe to the shop. For the flooring, I insisted on getting cherry blossom wood because in my opinion, the color just fits perfectly with the blue highlights of the building. But also due to this stubbornness, I guess, the schedule did get a bit too tight for my liking, since it took me until the 99th day to get all the wood needed and finally finished the flooring. Also, similar to the brewery, there's just not enough decorations for it yet, so I kinda just put all the different crafting stations into the building for now to make it less empty, as well as declutter the grass area for my settlement. And with the final bit of farming getting me to level 21, the 100th day ends. But this is also just the beginning of my journey in the world of Elin. Hope you enjoyed part 1 of the 1000 Days series. Thanks for watching.